Welcome to This Startup is Being Recorded. This recording is improvised fiction. Similarities between it and the real world are entirely intentional. Now, enjoy the recording.
Okay, and the recording is on. Lindsay, so glad to have you here. I'm just going to do a quick brief, basically, for the people who might listen to this recording. We record all of our meetings here at Meta Market just for our radical transparency and radical honesty company cultures. But for any new employees or for folks who might be listening, John, especially, I hope listens to this one, as it's essential that we get the Screaming Room training brief really locked down. We are going to be talking about the couple-day-long training happening later this week with all employees. All employees are required to join for our Screaming Room. We are, of course, Meta Market. We're a couch marketplace startup. Our goal is to give everyone a more comfortable seat at the table and transform trade. So, actually, let's do a quick intro too. I'll start. I'm Kate Banchette. I'm the Chief of Staff. I work directly with / for John, our CEO. And just super excited to get this training brief done. Calathea, maybe you want to go next?
Calathea Nadarova. I am the Chief Creative Czar for the company, and I'll just apologize about my general state of mind. Lindsay and I had a private practice before this, and it just brought up a lot of emotions about being a mother who's about to let her baby, flesh of her flesh, go out into the world, and that real sense of grief. So
it's just
thank you all for coming today.
Okay. Let's go with Matt.
Sure, yeah. Hi, I'm matt.yachts. That's also my website where you can find out more about me. I'm the CTO here at Meta Market, and I've worked with John on several different projects, some good, some bad, and here we are. And I don't know, it doesn't look like everyone got the same memo I did. I wore loose clothes for this. Maybe that was for the actual training and not for this pre-prep meeting.
Yes,
okay.
The dedication is very appreciated.
Awesome. And I'm Eric Joy Carter, Chief Product Officer here at Meta Market. Super excited for this day. It's going to be a great day.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big voices here, and I can't wait to see them unleashed.
Yeah. And enhancements in safety.
Yes.
Yes.
Lindsay, do you mind introducing yourself?
Absolutely, yes. As you all know, my name is Lindsay. My given name was Smith, but upon moving to Bhutan, I took the given name Magna, which a local told me meant joy and peace. And so that is what I go by now. I've spent a couple years in Bhutan, learning the ways of happiness, and have really made happiness my job and goal. And Calathea and I met on a happiness retreat. And since then, have really delved into the world of screaming and the importance of screaming for a balanced psyche and a happier life. And the energy in this room is incredible. Calathea told me how wonderful you all are, and
wow,
it
really?
Cannot be understated. I am just so thrilled to begin this training with you all.
I told her how wonderful you all are from like a surface level, that I know all of you, because as I must remind you, we are not friends, and I cannot afford to add you to my social network.
Yes.
Right. Okay. That was a good point of clarification. Cool. It's so funny that your new last name has joy in it, because that's like Eric's middle name.
I know.
And we both legally changed our names. That's a pretty amazing connection.
Yeah, I think this is really fate. This feels like fate.
Yeah. It was a real hassle too. Did it take you like 6 months to get the change through?
Well, I I don't really prescribe to, formal government systems. I really manifested the change in my last name and decided that it would be, and it was.
Okay. So,
Good way to-
but all that paperwork we sent you about like visa information
Yes.
and time and country, that
Yes.
all got done, right?
Yes, more or less. I was allowed
Okay.
I was allowed into the country, so I believe we are okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, you're here now, so let's focus on what we need to focus on today. Yeah. So, can you maybe explain a little more what this brief is about, what the purpose is?
Yes. So, I don't know how much Calthea has informed you all about
Very
what
little.
a scream room training entails. Okay, that's wonderful. I think going in as a blank slate is really just a beautiful thing.
Oh.
So these trainings, they're about safety, but they're also about the spiritual experience and the optimization of the scream room experience. This training will be approximately 48 to 72 hours. Sleep will be very minimal, and ideally, everyone will coexist in the same room for that entire time span.
Wait, everyone?
Everyone, yes. It is.
Our
it's
company's
really
like almost 30 people.
perfection. The more people, the more energy there is, and it just really, just everyone all in that space intermingling together. It is just going to be wonderful.
This room is. No, please go ahead, Calathea.
Oh, no, I was just going to say the last group training that I did with Lindsay, we had 12 people and we did the entire training in a wheelbarrow. And it was an amazing bonding experience.
It was
But do you mean with the wheelbarrow?
In the wheelbarrow.
in the
It took-
wheelbarrow.
It took a lot of balancing and trust to be able to keep it, on the single wheel, but and that is a master class. I would not recommend trying to do
No.
do something like that.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm not clear on how the physics of that worked. Were you stacked on top of one another?
Yes.
Some people standing, some people laying down. So have you ever played the game that I used to play as a child called Jenga?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
So imagine like a Jenga board, but with human bodies and intertwining souls.
And
Okay.
We're
The
not.
we-
We're not.
Yeah,
gonna
we're not
be
doing
in
that.
that configuration, right?
No,
This is-
no,
of
no, no,
course
no.
not.
Oh,
This is
goodness.
a master
No,
level
no. Yes.
level. I mean, Lindsay, I don't want to speak for you. You're obviously the trainer here, but I mean, that would take far more spiritual capacity
So
than I
much.
think
So much.
we have at this stage.
No, yes,
I mean,
absolutely
we have a
not.
lot of spiritual. Anyway, there's lots of HR reasons why I don't think we should do that. But
Yeah, I read the email and I had somebody in the production office get us each individual 2-foot by 3-foot carpet squares made from our couch material to designate our area in the room. It leaves
This
about
is-
5 square feet of room left to maneuver. Total.
That is
oh god,
So great.
so incredible. And I think I'm so glad that you sought to incorporate some of your products into the training session. I will say that by about the end of the 24 hours, those individual spaces will no longer be needed. These rituals, it's very important to really commingle in the space and, feed off the energy of the room. Nothing like the wheelbarrow, but are you all familiar with acrobatic yoga?
Oh, yeah.
It's a very
Yes.
complex and quite traditional practice, really.
That's where
and
like
so-
one person lays down, puts their feet up in the air, and the other person balances on their pelvis, basically, on their legs.
It is
It's a simplification.
a crude description of a truly
I mean,
beautiful.
Sounded accurate to me. I mean, it was evocative.
Yeah.
It's
I just want to be clear that like things like commingling and feeding off of each other and pelvic touching are really not. I think. I don't know. I don't think we can do that.
I don't believe I mentioned pelvic touching. But if you would like that, that is generally a more advanced
No.
option. But we
Definitely
can
not.
we can if you would like.
Lindsay,
Maybe-
we talked about this in our obsession, and I think Kate really springs from a lack of connection to the mother maternal, which often which often
see
means that she becomes fixated on the pelvic area as use for only pleasure and not for creativity. And
Sorry, folks, I
spiritual
left my
connection.
ringtone on. I'll be right back.
Oh, good. Oh, goodness.
Oh my god. I just think we should not talk about my mother or lack of mother or my other mother in meetings anymore. I really feel like, Lindsay, we're cutting you off. Maybe just like,
No.
let's move forward a couple steps. What do we need to know?
Okay, I will say that your relationship with your mother is critical to the Scream Room training, but we can revisit it if you would prefer.
Sorry about that, folks. Just got word from John that he intends to join us for the training.
Oh, wonderful.
So I don't know if that's going to, like, what that's going to do for our capacity in the room.
I think only good things. Who is this John again?
He's the
our
CEO.
CEO. He has such a wonderful
Incredible.
energy that I think is, really, really needed in this training.
This is going to be incredible.
So I apologize for having to step away. Maybe I missed this, but I have a couple of critical questions
Yes.
about being locked in a room together for 48 to 72 hours.
Yes.
What are we doing about bathrooms?
Yes. So as you all are beginners, we will designate a corner. When you're at a more advanced stage, you actually can just clear your mind of all of those needs, but we won't be at that place at this stage. We will provide a small space, usually some sort of. Oh yes, in the room, absolutely in the room.
I won't put a carpet square in that corner.
Please.
No,
please
if you
do
can
not.
put like sand down, it has kind of like, think of it almost like a human litter box.
No, I got that from the sand. Yeah. Yeah, we have some packing material from filling some of the couch legs.
Perfect.
I'll go.
Perfect.
I'm just concerned
that?
because we've already had leaking problems. That the biotech startup below us said that we've actually ruined several of their experiments when we just spilled water. So,
And it might just be because I'm hypersensitive right now after our work, Lindsay, but I'm experiencing a lot of tension in this room, and I just want to say, if we want to lean into creature comforts, we're not going to get the same success, but if that's what we need to engage, we can meet people where they are.
Absolutely.
okay. Well, I think a working toilet sounds like a nice creature comfort.
Yeah. Or just bathroom breaks. I mean, we've got great facilities here on like every floor, so we could just let people go to the bathroom.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. This is your experience, and it is important to me that you all, are getting what you can out of it.
It's kind of a deal breaker for me. I think I need to be able to have access to a restroom and privacy.
That is sad for me to hear, but I understand that those interruptions may be necessary for you all.
Yeah. I mean, I will say if we need to come up with a system so that 30 people share one toilet, that I've done that before. I have some templates I could use. So we I could definitely chat with you about maybe some compromises here.
I think that may actually work. That is a very enlightened idea, Kate. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We can continue on discussing some more of the important logistics for the training. Earlier, I believe Matt mentioned loose clothing, absolutely a must. There will be a significant amount of movement, contortion, some light acrobatics, and it will be very crucial that everyone has a full range of motion.
I don't think the room has space for that.
Oh, you would be surprised. You would be absolutely surprised. The wheelbarrow that Calathea mentioned was maybe one of our most beautiful trainings, but, these Scream Room trainings, they're all about, really encompassing the physical space, and truly the smaller and more crowded, the better. I think one of my most favorite is we conducted a full training in a subway car with strangers. It was incredible. Incredible.
Okay. Well, okay. That actually does remind me, a few employees have been a little hesitant, so I was wondering if you had some like customer testimonials or, some type of overview, like a one-pager or something that we could send out to...
Absolutely. So I maintain a WordPress site called Lindsay
Nice.
Loves Bhutan. It is where I record all of my...
LindsayLovesBhutan.com?
Yeah, .net. It is free. It is a WordPress site, and I believe paying for the internet is just a crime, really. But yes, so I maintain this blog where I discuss my work in Bhutan and my pursuits of happiness, and I discuss the Scream Room and the training in depth. I believe, actually, the wheelchair, or the wheelbarrow, sorry, there was also a wheelchair training. The wheelbarrow training is described on the blog as well.
Sorry, and I don't know if I'm on the right site, but I just there's a bunch of posts, but they're all just what look like audio waveforms, but they're not like files you can click on and listen to the sound. There's no words.
Oh goodness, I keep an audio diary, and I can look for the files and try to provide some if.
Oh, so you do have the files? Okay.
Potentially, I'll have to look and see.
Do you have like some bullet points though, like we could send around in Slack beforehand?
I totally understand the apprehension, and if we do need the testimonial, I do have a one-woman show based on my screaming experience that I'm happy to perform in some public way, just to make people feel more comfortable with this experience and understand the journey that we're going through.
Calathea.
Sorry, it's the same employees who had hesitation around the Screaming Room that were the same ones that actually filed the complaints around your last one-woman show. So I'm not sure that format is the best for them. They're all on Matt's team, not to point fingers, but...
Hey, yeah, and I would like to clear the air here. I'm one of those people. I definitely, in my mind, I had a very different, experience about what this training would entail, mostly about how to protect your voice when you're using it at high volume.
Right.
I'm hearing a lot about what I'm going to describe as suffering, but I'm not hearing how this will help train us to make better use of the Screaming Room.
Matt, if I may, this is based on very deep Buddhist values, and the first principle of Buddhism is life is suffering. And it's only through recognizing that suffering that we're able to really achieve happiness. I'll remind you that's the core tenet of the creative team. And I get the sense that we might be on odds here about the process in which we all achieve joy in our lives.
Listen, I'm no stranger to suffering in order to achieve bodily harmony, to improve one's fitness. I use the Screaming Room when I reserve it primarily for Peloton and Alex Toussaint's core and strength training classes. They're brutal. I mean, there's no part of you afterwards that doesn't feel burned out and sore. And embracing that is what makes Alex such a joy to have as an instructor.
Matt, I feel like you just gave us just such a fruitful little seed right there.
It's true.
And
Okay.
I think you understand the work we're doing here already.
Yes.
Like, you understand the pain and the suffering that you are getting and the satisfaction that you're getting. All that Screaming is doing that sonically. It's just
true.
about really
Sonically?
being able, yes,
Sorry.
you know, through your vocal cords, through sound. I'm sorry, Lindsay, I don't mean to sell this.
no.
I'm just trying to translate between our two
Absolutely.
worlds, because sometimes that can be difficult, you know.
Yes. Yes, I deeply appreciate that, Calafia, and Matt, I thank you for offering up those words, and you know, I would like to give you a gift that I was given my first year in Bhutan.
Okay.
A gift of a phrase, if you will.
Cool.
So Magna Go Lang Mishu. It was given to me when I was first in Bhutan and was working through some deep emotional issues. I was really struggling with you know, the placement of the furniture in my new apartment. It was a very trying time, and I was seeking a lot of input, and I was gifted this phrase that roughly translates to when there are too many carpenters, the door cannot be erected. And I think that this is an
what?
important phrase for you all right now.
Can you say it again? I just missed it. When there are too
Yes.
many.
When there are too many carpenters, the door cannot be erected.
Yeah.
It is much more beautiful in the Zongha language of Bhutan, but the crude translation will work here. And I think that this is valuable in this situation to say, you know, I understand the hesitancy. Calathea did warn me that some members of your company may be resistant to the training methods.
Okay, I'm willing to move forward.
Yeah.
As I said in my earlier emails, I'm not going to require this of my teams. I'm actually already getting several requests for people to be on call overnight during these nights so that they can answer when servers go down or when we have other errors that are causing issues for customers. Something they usually really strongly avoid. And they seem to be using it as a way to get out of this. And frankly, I'm not going to stop them, but I am willing to sort of step back and see how this goes.
Well,
I
have
deeply
an
appreciate that. I'm sorry, Kate. I didn't mean to disrupt your voice.
It's okay. I was just trying to sonically communicate. We only have like 10 minutes left, so maybe just an idea, but Lindsay, maybe you could like walk us through a small exercise, and maybe if we like experience this magical suffering, we'll be able to better translate it to our teams.
Fabulous.
That sounds
Fabulous.
great.
I think this is a fabulous idea. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go through, you know, one of our most basic warm-ups. So I want everyone to kind of sit back in your chair comfortably and close your eyes for just a moment.
And sorry, we're not actually going to scream in here, right? This
Oh,
conference
good.
room is next to a lot of people. It's not rated for scream work.
Goodness, no, I with a group this untrained eye, we would never even get to screaming exercises until maybe the 48-hour mark.
Okay.
There's a lot of prep work that goes into the screaming training. Okay. Now I want everyone to close their eyes. I want you to just empty your minds for a moment. And I want you to picture the loudest thing that you know of. I want you to picture the sound. Truly, truly embody it. Oh, beautiful. And if you need to move or stretch, intonate, again, I request that we all refrain from screaming, but other intonation may be appropriate. Now think and let this loud sound truly, fully occupy your mind and your body. Feel it. Let it be the only thing that you can hear. And now come to a rest. Beautiful. You may open your eyes. And I would like to hear about your experiences. I think I would like Calithea to start off. Calithea.
Yeah, of course. The sound that I heard was the screaming of my inner child, having a tantrum, wanting to be free. And the moment the training ended, I was transported to a place of nothingness, where I was nothing, the room was nothing, this company was nothing, everything was nothing, and I just breathed that in before coming back into a world of substance.
Calithea, you are an absolute inspiration. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Eric, I saw you also having a spiritual moment. Would you care to share the sound that you thought of?
Yeah, it was very strange. I was transported forward to March of next year. And I was giving the keynote address at the 19th annual Midwest Supply Chain Management Conference in St. Louis.
Oh, this is incredible.
And it was my voice that was resonating in the hall, talking about what we're doing here. And I just felt the voice come out of me, and I felt my hands moving, and I felt it was very hard not to scream.
Wow, Eric. That is incredible. That shows an advanced mastery of the screaming techniques, and I am just so happy for you. I'm so happy for that journey for you. Kate or Matt, would you like to share the sound that you thought of?
Sure. Yeah, so I was transported back to my childhood, and it was the sound of when you slaughter a chicken, and all the other chickens in the coop are aware that one of their family members has been killed, and they sort of erupt into this kind of flocking, very melodic, but almost like percussionist style squawking.
Cool.
Yes. And what did that bring? Did that bring up anything for you, Kate?
I mean, pretty much most of the emotions from my childhood, I feel like, are encompassed in that story.
That's true. It's incredible. It's incredible, and I think we all are familiar with the sound. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Matt, what about you?
Well, my sound was animal related as well. I thought of in the deep ocean, the Mantis Shrimp uses a punch to stun its prey and or enemies that attack it, and it does so by punching the water in front of it so hard that it flash boils and creates a cavity in the water, and it can create so much force, so much energy that when that bubble collapses, there's sometimes even a flash of light that science is still working to this day to understand.
Wow, incredible.
That's called a Mantis Shrimp?
A Mantis Shrimp.
Okay, I'm going to get one.
Incredible. That is incredible energy.
You're going to want to reinforce the tank if
Okay,
Yeah,
I have a
they
few
do
that are pretty
punch.
industrial grade. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Calthea.
Oh, no, they do punch through aquarium shrimp. You should ask John about it.
Oh, great. This is a topic for us to talk about.
Yeah,
Wow.
that just took me to a place of realizing how limited human understanding is and how vast and varied nature is in all of its forms.
That is a fascinating takeaway. And I think that with the right screaming practice, you may be able to gain insights into the world that our common science, or what we would call medicine, have not been able to achieve. So I just thank you all for that beautiful exercise. That was truly wonderful to experience.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Lindsay, for
Thank
bringing your light here.
I think that was also really helpful. We can probably document that. Maybe not the exact examples, just because Eric, it hasn't been announced yet that you're actually going to be a speaker at the
Right.
Midwest Annual Supply Chain Conference yet. But, well, I mean, we have to wrap up pretty soon, Lindsay.
yeah.
But anything final you want to leave us with? I think you're scheduled to come in. We're starting, 8:30 tomorrow?
Yes, that would be, I believe I had requested 3 a.m., but I was shot down.
Yeah, the building doesn't let us open that early.
Yes. So I suppose 8:30 will do.
Great.
I request that everyone come hydrated.
Oh, yeah. What about food? We're going to be in here for 2 to 3 days.
Yes. Again, in a more advanced training, your spiritual energy would sustain you. But Calthea has informed me that, again, we are not at that place. So
Yeah, I've got folks on my team who, have blood sugar issues, so they need to regulate.
Totally heard and understand. We are
Absolutely.
going to provide catering for the event so that we
Yes.
can
Great.
have lunch. And also as an additional incentive to some folks who leave reviews of one-woman shows, who don't feel on board for this practice. The marketing team is covering it. It is from Deanza, as everybody knows, the most prominent restaurant in town, and particularly the #1 Grubhub order from certain teams. So
yes.
take that information as you may.
Yes.
I'm so glad we collect all that data on our employees.
I would normally find the provision of food to be an affront to the screaming practice, but Calthea has assured me that this will enhance the participation, so I have made the exception.
And I just want to make sure that Kate, you're aware of this, that we are using the lactation room to put Lindsay in while we are eating, so she can be blindfolded and in complete darkness while we are eating, so it doesn't disrupt her ability to teach.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Calthea, for that.
Okay, well, we don't have any lactating mothers right now, but in the future, just keep me posted as you did. Well, okay, Lindsay, thank you so much. If you need anything else in the next day, you know where to find us. We all have offices with our names on them. And yeah, I guess we'll see you bright and early tomorrow, or early.
Some of us will.
I am looking forward to this immensely. Thank you all for being so open to this life-changing experience.
Thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording.
This meeting has ended. To subscribe to This Startup is Being Recorded, go to the podcast player of your choice and tap a button that likely says subscribe. More content is on Twitter @StartupRecorded, or shoot us an email with ideas, feedback, or your personal startup horror story at hello@startuprecorded.com. Lindsay is played by Katie Overbey. Katie is a review scientist at the FDA and mostly performs as part of Highwire Improv. She's also the co-host of the Teach Me Something Good podcast, which can be found at teachme.show. Kate is played by Valerie Garrison. Valerie is a health tech product manager and regularly plays with the improv troupe Letters to Chicken online. You can find her on Twitter at @thevalgaris. Eric is played by Barry Wright. Barry is a product manager at Spotify and a co-founder of Highwire Improv. Find him by his name on LinkedIn, where he holds regular office hours, or at highwireimprov.com. Matt is played by Marty McGuire. Marty is a senior web engineer and improviser in New York City. You can find Marty's comedy, code, and cats on his website at mmg.re. Calathea is played by Robin Stegman. Robin is a digital campaign manager for Ocean Conservancy and is a comedian mostly found at Highwire Improv. You can find her on all the social medias, and she does mean all, at @rstegi. Thank you for listening.